is Wang. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, fellow members and guests. Imagine that you're a train pilot and you're driving a train heading to a place far, far away. And in the middle of your journey, you see the brake failure light is on. Then you suddenly receive a warning. There's a bus broke down in the middle of the railroad crossing. And then you immediately check if there's another alternative solution. And there's only a way to avoid this tragedy. 100 meters away, there's a railroad junction that you can simply switch direction to another route. But instead, you will kill 2 railroad repairmen doing their maintenance work in there. What will you do? I'll ask, what will Jesus do if you put me into this situation? Were you willing to sacrifice 2 innocent railroad repairmen's lives in order for the greater good? Or you'll maintain your direction and let the tragedy to happen? To avoid intervention, do we really have an answer for this kind of moral dilemma? I believe most of you all heard this question before. And today then you will know it is a very complicated problem. And today I'm not going to run through all the details, so let me just cut into the conclusion. It actually has no general right answer. We maybe have the better answer that can reach the national or global consensus. But do we have this better answer yet? I don't think so. You might think, who cares? What's the odds for a train hitting a bus? Car accident happens every day. Maybe we should better spend our precious time on focusing on how to reduce casualties caused by car accident. Yeah, about that. Do you know self-driving car, aka autonomous car, is doing test drive in many major cities around the world for more than a year? In fact, the first car accident deaths caused by a self-driving car happened on March 2018. A middle-aged woman was hit and killed by an Uber self-driving vehicle doing test drive in Arizona. And this accident leads to a much more bigger problem. What will the self-driving car choose or react while facing the train situation? What will the machine choose? Sacrificing 2 lives, 5 lives, or your own life? There is a website called Moral Machine made by MIT Media Lab. These websites want to know what will you choose while you facing these kind of moral dilemmas, so they can collect data to help building self-driving cars that can be accepted by the most of the people. The questionnaires contain 13 scenarios. Most of the scenarios are much more complicated than the train situation. And let me pick the most simple scenario for demonstration. When you're taking a self-driving car and you're going to hit and kill 3 people on the road, the only way to avoid this is the self-driving car switch direction and hit the wall. And by doing that, the obvious consequence is that you will get killed. At first, I saw the first priority for the self-driving car should be protecting the passengers at all costs, right? After all, who would want to buy a car that would choose the lives of the others on the street over the passenger's life? But after I saw the test result of the general public about saving the passenger, it's neutral. That means the general public is willing to sacrifice their own lives in order to save more lives. I don't know if you think this way, and it is not legally binding any court around the world yet. And we know saying is one thing and doing is another. When your life is really on the line, maybe you will suddenly change your mind. So that is why the self-driving car manufacturer still want their passenger to maintain their hand on the steering wheel when the car is still driving. The car won't choose for you when the ultimate decision comes. You have to make the judgment call yourself and live with the consequence, or you just get killed and dead. So maybe it is the most economically efficient way for now for this kind of moral dilemma. After all, we are not ready for the machine to make choice that matters life and death for us yet. Toastmaster for the day.